We're even thinking about it. CBLTC rubber cock, arm around the door, smacks him in his face, still kills him. He drops his grenade. 8 people on that side of the door, all dead because he's dropped his grenade. I just have nightmares of this guy running towards me and just not being able to shoot him anywhere.
Elliot had the million panda power torch.
Yeah! I just seem to get traumatized too easily at Airsoft.
Smithy actually got a kill with a McDonald's straw and some BBs.
Thinking back, all I can remember was misery.
And there's BBs just spinning about inside his fucking flash hider, and he's like, ah! And he's like, it sounds a silly idea shooting each other with these things. You guys are mad.
Hey guys, it's Magaz here, and welcome to Balls Deep, the podcast where we talk airsoft news, reviews, interviews, random shenanigans, and more often than not get sidetracked and talk about something completely unrelated. Welcome to episode 2 of the remastered, re-released series of the original season of Balls Deep, an Airsoft podcast. In this episode, it's myself and Des, the OG hosts, talking about tac shields, night games, snow, some random other bullshit. And then, because the episode's only half an hour long, there is an additional 30-minute episode of the Air Maybe Soft for your listening pleasure. If you want to support the podcast, go down below, hit thumbs up, share it with your friends, comment on the video, or if you're listening to this in the future when it's back on podcast sharing sites like fucking podcasts or Spotify or your fucking fridge in the kitchen because it's like some magic fucking space fridge or some shit, do what you need to do. If you want to get in touch with us, you can go to Instagram at BDPod or bdpod@gmail.com. Leave us some information there and we will put it in a future episode. Season 2 is in production. As soon as Season 1 has been remastered and re-uploaded, we're going to be dropping Season 2, hopefully every week, maybe every other week. We're going to get on it like motherfuckers, Brad. We're Moto. Listen to this podcast, it's going to be good. I'll see you at the end for a little outro.
Deep.
I'm Des, and we're not supposed to about Jim Beam or Mountain Dew, by the way.
Or common prop end.
Or common prop end, just...
But, I mean, like, we're open to sponsorships if you really want to sponsor us, Mountain Dew, because... Just because, shits and giggles. So, right, yeah, I was thinking... Do you remember back in the day at Area 51 where we used to have tac shields?
I do.
And to a lesser extent, back at Elite CQB.
So my nightmares of tac shields go from.
Yeah. So what's your opinion on tac shields?
Probably already guessed by the tone. I hate them. It's not that I hate them. I just think there should be... I think they need to just have clearer rules on tac shields. There needs to be... It's a difficult one to regulate. It's like 20 shots and you're out kind of thing, or are we just allowed to just open fire at you while you move up on us, or I'd see
the way it kind of worked at SWAT were very Lancashire. The way it worked at SWAT were they were basically a single tac shield just somewhere in the site, and anybody from either team could pick up this shield at any point during the site and use it. The idea is you can be holding this tac shield as long as you're alive. The second you're hit, you have to drop it. Then anybody else can either pick it up and continue pushing forwards or come back, take it, and then take over it. That it worked kind of really well until that time I was holding it and some guy tried to throw a grenade, threw it. That was kind of scary. What's that Elliot saying?
Nah, he's not coming.
Nah, sure he's not coming.
Right, then.
We thought we were going to get joined by another Roy, but not today. Maybe Elliot. Maybe we don't know. He's not. But yeah, it's real. Ring him. Yeah. It's working, man.
It's possible.
No, he's a photographer as well. Yeah. So, it's work. Sometimes.
Wait. Shields,
yeah. So, in that respect, they can work pretty well. I mean, the way I see it is, if you can hold this plastic shield and get hammered in the arm through the plastic shield, which fucking really hurt, because it's only like a thin plastic shield, It's like a lens from it.
Where was that then? That it was pretty much just a butchered wheelie bin.
That was Elite.
Ah, right.
Yeah. So yeah, the ones at Elite, basically this lad called Wayne stole a wheelie bin, cut it in half, and used the left and right hand side to make shields, so it was like curved as well.
Yeah.
He had a firing slit, then he cut a hole in and put some perspex in there, spray painted all black and wrote SWAT on the front, and they were really good.
Well, they
But they were only like this big, so you had to pistol and like really up close in it. But again, like you can just tank through everybody with you.
Yeah. I think that, like I said, I can't remember ever anyone using one at SWAT, but Elite, I just have nightmares of this guy running towards me and just not being able to shoot him anywhere.
See, I like the one thing that I liked about at Elite were when Standing had managed to drill a hole through a door. And he drilled a hole through this door about this big. We got bollocks for that afterwards. And then, well, Standing got bollocks for that afterwards. And then Scott had put the shield, like the perspex, over the hole. And then Standing stuck his G3 through and thought, this glass that can stop bullets, my BBs can go through that. And he just lit it up. And I got footage of it. And this BB's just spinning about inside his fucking flash hider. And he's like, ah! I burped when I was doing that. You hear that? Ah! Hilarious. But I've got some footage of me like using that in my Infinity. It works really well with a pistol.
Yeah.
So I think if you are using shields, you should be limited to the weapon you can carry.
You should be able to
Shield and a pistol.
Someone holding a shield.
Yeah, definitely.
If you,
I mean, like when we
you've got to be able to suppress them.
when we ran the shield at SWAT, it generally were the full auto games.
Yeah.
But the shield at SWAT was like one of the proper police, big, long, corrugated, see-through tools.
Yeah.
But again, it's like really thin plastic. When your arm's up against it, you can feel the hits hitting your arm, and it kills. Like after like somebody's just nailing the center of it. Like, oh fuck this thing. The amount I get the shield and generally pass it off to somebody else. Because it's such a pain in the ass. It's a massive thing, and
It's too clunky. It's for clear room. I think it's too clunky. The way that we play anyway, where it's just run in, get your shot,
run back out,
get back in as quick as you can. I think that works so much better than
trying to use a shield. See,
everyone pepper you.
The shield, what we found it were best for is, say we're attacking like the porno suite.
Yeah.
We'll get to the door and we want to put a frag in. If you try to put a frag in and there's 8 people there, you're going to get shot.
Yeah.
So the idea is we open it and somebody goes in with a shield and then we whale the frag in while so the guy with and shields can be used to stop grenades as well. Let's say if you can get completely behind it and the grenade goes off in front, you're still alive.
Yeah. Fair.
I'm like hit and miss with him.
Yeah.
If they're
some more play with shields, I think you've got to get the right sight as well. Because I think
see, it worked quite.
51 was perfect.
It worked well at Area 51 because there were a lot of bottlenecks, and using the shield gave somebody the opportunity to push through without fear and break that bottleneck.
Yeah. Whereas Elite was literally not much bigger than this room.
Yeah, it's like this room, width of this room, but this wide line.
Yeah.
Hang on a minute. I'll just make a little video here and I'll put it in. Like this is the studio. So imagine this room, but like twice the width. And then the same room. So there was like this room and then the same length room next to it.
Yeah.
And it was 2 rooms with 2 doors going into each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was like in the left-hand room, there were some steps going. You basically had to go through this like bin-hole sort of a situation.
So weird, yeah.
Down some steps into the boiler room. And then you could go from the boiler room into an annex room, which led into some stairs. Or you could go around the back of the boiler room and come into the back of the stairs. It was an alright site for
4 people.
Yeah.
When
When it got
not
popular.
20 people that are trying to run it. Yeah.
Basically, that site, we'll give a brief history of it, it's still running as the Elite Shooting Ranges in Burnley on Hamilton Street, or just off Hamilton Street. I think it's called Tanner Street. So basically, we found out about that, and another Airsoftist said, there's some ranges in Burnley, you should check them out. So me, F, Plumber and Scott went up, had a look, and they were like, have you ever, we did some practical shooting there and helped out and stuff, and like ran events on the ranges, and then we're like, have you ever thought of airsoft skirmishing? And it's like, it sounds a silly idea shooting each other with these things, you guys are mad. And then he said, if you want, you can hire the ranges as though you hire, because you could hire the ranges for the weekend, for a day for £100. He said, you can hire the ranges and just make like a maze and you can shoot each other in there. I'm like, sweet. And then, so we did it the first time, just in the 2 rooms.
Yeah.
And then he said, why don't you use the boiler room as well? can open that hatch up there and you can go into the boiler room. So then we're like, whoa, massive. And there were some stairs and all sorts. So we used to basically run games every weekend in these like 6 rooms. And it ended up being like 5 aside. And then by the end of it, it got really popular because we were just playing and having a laugh. It weren't serious, and we were charging people like a $5 a go.
See, that's the best kind of airsoft where you don't think it's serious. Like,
we were making stupid objectives, and because we couldn't actually use grenades, we were using like Poundland electric grenades. That what the hell? My business card. Christ, Steve's pants and no good. His back pockets are ridiculous. So we just have a laugh, but in the end, when people found out where it were and they knew there were a game on there, people were just turning up unannounced. So we were saying you had to book in such a small site. In one game, we had like 25 players. And then which meant me and like everybody else, like CBNPC lads, weren't playing because we're like, we need to marshal this.
Yeah.
It ended up, we were running like a game in the ranges, a game in the boiler room, just like quick. But it was a good laugh.
Too small.
Definitely too small.
Yeah.
I still can't believe, right? Plumber's AK and that doing like 360, 370, and we're playing full automatic. We're just fucking shooting glasses on. Tiny little rooms. Basically, we're like steel cable, where there is that high tension cable on the ceiling, and we had just like, we call it tarpaulins, tarps. Just we carabiners on that to make walls, and it were completely modular. So they'd be like corridors this narrow, and then you'd be turning a corner and somebody's just lighting you up on automatic at point blank.
Well, that's it, because you used to come from, you used to play at Fire Zone up at Trawden.
Yeah.
Where obviously it's all so open and it's so windy, so everyone was firing at ridiculous. I can't even remember being chronoed up there.
I remember the sign up there, what do you call it, Andy?
Oh, yeah, Andy and his invisible son.
So Andy wrote a sign that said, basically, it showed the FPS limits for semi-auto, full automatic, bolt action, and pistols.
Yeah, it was that.
And then
328 was, isn't it?
Then underneath it said it was supposed to say all guns will be chronographed at the beginning of the day.
Yeah.
And he couldn't spell chronograph, so he just hit spell check and just clicked the first thing. So it actually said all guns will be choreographed before play. Every time I saw it, I took the piss out of him for that. But yeah, with that site came out of us running the CQB site in Burnley.
Well, that's it. But you'd have people going to Trawden, and then you'd have them coming to the CQB site with the same fucking guns. And it's like the firing way over.
So we did chrono at the CQB site.
Full circle. This is why I was terrified. This is why I hate shields, because I can't. I think it must have been an MP5, but it was doing way over what it should have been. So I seem to remember getting fucking bombed in a hole by a man with a shield and an MP5. So it's a nightmare of shields, man. Yeah, that. Not for me. No.
Alright, so that's the definitive thing. I'm kind of pro shields.
I hate shields.
Sweet. But just going back to Elite CQB, this lad called Mark, he'll call SPAS 12 on the forums, I think. And he basically, the only thing he used was a SPAS 12 and an Infinity. Raz was the VIP for the steam. And it was basically, in the boiler room, the site, it was just full of cardboard TV boxes and massive boxes. So we built walls out of boxes. So Raz got into this cardboard box and just hid there with his pistol. And then he was like giggling to himself. And I was marshalling for this one. I was like, so we had all these tables around the edge and we built a wall out of tarps. So I could stand on the tables and look over the whole site. So I was watching over, see this box, and I could hear Raz go,
as he does.
Your box is shaking like this. And then Mark comes in and he's looking about and I see him like go, and he walks over to this box and he's got his SPAS 12, pops the box and Raz is in there, he goes bang, whack.
Oh.
He had this 3 welts right here that swelled up so much. He was like, I'm well scared of them shotguns and wells. It's like the shotgun did about 260 feet per second. What a fuck, you know, that was so funny. We had some funny times at that site.
Yeah. I do miss them, but when you play at sites like SWAT, where it's just the sides are just phenomenal.
It's immense.
Yeah, but I do kind of miss the close kind of like mates only, like in the back, like we used to do in the back garden, where it's mates.
10 of us in a terrace garden, back garden sort of thing.
Just be like, you couldn't be more than like 10, 15 feet away from each other, and you were just doing outside. Yeah, it's like, oh, fuck off, really. Teeth flying everywhere.
Sure.
So,
Did you say?
No.
no, I've lost a tooth since then. I don't feel good.
I've shot a tooth out since then.
Yeah.
And shipped a tooth to another thing. So I might want a front tooth as well, like down there. I can't see where it's like slightly different colour.
Yeah, mine kind of like starts off right there as well.
Yeah. I don't even know how I chipped. I just woke up one morning, I looked in the mirror, I'm like, what? I wasn't even drunk or anything, just woke up with a chipped tooth. Like, how did that happen? Anyway, yeah.
Phenomenal.
So,
Got my shield.
unless the rules are really written out and you're not playing against us, because...
Or make them out of cardboard.
We talked about this.
You could drill through them eventually.
No, what we're going to do is we're going to get one of the bin shields and we're going to cut the center out and just have like sliders in it, so you could slide really thick cardboard in.
See, I'd play that. Yeah.
So then eventually they'll
get through. Eventually. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
Because that reminds me of the time where we made a cardboard super samurai suit, and I put this cardboard super samurai suit on, but what I didn't know is I went to take a leak, and when I came back, I put the cardboard super samurai suit on. Plumber and Scott had stripped away all the cardboard from the inside of the chest. I thought I'm going to be BB proof here. They lit me the fuck up. Big hole just appears here. I'm like, ah! So I'm in. Basically, I can't bend my arms. I've got a brush in one hand, and I'm running after him, like, trying to get him with this cardboard super set. I wailed this brush at Plumber and nearly killed him.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, we had some good times. So, yeah. One of the other things that I wanted to talk about on here was playing in snow. Have you ever played in snow?
Yeah, up at Trodden.
Yeah, I went.
Since you're thinking back, all I can remember was Misery.
Cold fingers.
Misery. Yeah, oh my god, getting shot in your fingers when they're fucking frozen. Misery. No pistols. And very wet.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Trodden was 3 valleys.
Yes, it's basically some mixed woodland. It's not really woodland.
No. There's trees down the valleys, and then the rest of it was just field
Farmland, basically, yeah. Long grass in some, and
yeah. So, and there's pretty much streams there in every single...
I'll
calling them a river.
I'll Google map it, and I'll put an overlay of the site all around now so you can see it. So that's the site.
Yeah. So, obviously, snow, cover all the rivers up, and walk.
Yes, I remember this.
And just me, done for the day, because I'm already miserable because it's cold, and now I'm wet, and everyone's laughing at me. So, yeah.
See, what I found funny about Airsoft games is when your mate's crawling up the hill or something, and you go can him in the back of the head with a snowball. That's not funny! Like, it was for the first 5 times. But fuck off, Magaz.
No, have you played snow-wise?
I played there. I think Ambush, or I don't think it was Swap Woodley. I played a proper woodland site in snow as well, but it was like weird because it was freezing cold, but it was that dense woodland that it was just like beautiful looking snow on the ground, and it weren't that deep, and it felt really good. So there were no streams or anything. But I played once with first time Raz played, and he was using the SIG 550.
Yeah.
2 mags together. We're a night game as well.
Good.
Pitch black. First time I got my guard shooting glasses, tinted lenses, so like wearing sunglasses. Sun's going down and we're all still playing. It's freezing cold snow, and it starts like blizzard conditions.
Yeah.
We got about 20 minutes of gameplay after this and called it off. It was ridiculous. So I'm just like in this ditch, like looking 10 feet in front, like, dude, can you see anything? They're like, yeah, I can see for miles. I'm like, can't see anything, it's crazy shit. Yeah. Crazy snow, freezing cold, and then Plumber snuck up on us, came all the way around in this ravine, went completely out of bounds. Wait, that's a discussion for another time, because he still claims that he was in bounds.
No,
he weren't. But anyway, goes up behind him, just shreks me from behind. I turned around, and I couldn't even fucking see where he went. It was like 15 feet in front of me. It was pitch black, snowing, and I had tinted lenses on. It was the worst game ever. And then Raz Raz like, he were only about 14 or 15, and not been over from Romania for that long. He was like, Magaz, I've lost your bullet holder. That's a really bad impression of his accent. Oh, what do you mean you've lost the bullet holder? He's like, the bullet holder, the magazine, yes, it's gone. Pitch black in the snow. So we ended up just searching for this magazine and then calling it quits.
Yeah.
It was so cold, so snowy, so dark, ridiculous. But the other one that I've played, and I'm pretty sure it was Strine's Ambush. Just a beautiful layer of snow on the floor, freezing cold. And then there was some guy in like a German snow camo suit, tried to really
been waiting forever.
Yeah, like, oh, one day of snow, beautiful. Yeah, but it was amazing. But then like, you get your fist like, put that away, and then you get shot in your finger and you're gonna cry.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I enjoy snow, but I remember just cold weather in general is shit for airsoft.
It really is. Like, I was in the first and only site in Rochdale.
Factory one.
The factory one, yeah.
Is it not just called the factory?
I think it probably is called the factory. But in between the two buildings, you had the pitch black cellar, and then you could kind of come across to the other building. It had been snowing, and it was icy, and it was freezing cold. Run out of this building, ice, splish. You know,
lit up.
Yeah. It's like, I've clearly been shot. It's like, but everyone else thinks, oh, like, he's on his ass. That's more than enough reason for us to just absolutely light him up. So that's another reason I hate snow, is because just slippy. What? Slippy? I just seem to get traumatized too easily. I think that's my issue.
Sweet.
Yeah.
But with cold weather with guns, I remember the one time we were at Area 51. It weren't snowing, but it was frozen. It was so cold that even people's AEGs were cutting out and not working. Like, batteries were dying within like 15, 20 minutes, and guns just weren't working. I ended up spraying shotguns and pretty much stopped working there. Really nice.
Oh, they're good days though. I love days like that.
When there's like 20 players and you've just got basic kit, and it's like back in the day.
Sorry, shit's enough.
Thousand babies. I bet playing at Elite CQB, Smithy actually got a kill with a McDonald's straw and some BBs.
They really hurt, because they were firing them. I think it was either you or Alex or someone like that. I seem to remember, well, probably all of you, but I seem to remember Alex getting really decent welt on his neck from me just firing it out of the McDonald's straw. You could go so quick. Yeah, the fire rate on him as well is just ridiculous. Okay, you'd probably lose a tooth though with it.
Yeah, that's not bad him to mine.
Yeah.
Fired it at somebody. So anyway, what about night games? What's your opinion on that?
Oh, you know what? I've only done two. Both at Trollham.
Do you not come to any of the... Have you been to Swat Woodland?
Oh my God, no, we went to 51 as well, didn't we?
Oh.
I was pissed.
I think I...
Much of that. Because I drank a box of wine. No, it was when we were there with the trailer tent?
No, I went there with the... That was sighting. No, I was working at the fucking bar, man.
So you never go with it?
They were standing, you,
I got in bed with Stan.
Alan, Simon, because I was absolutely gutted that I couldn't go. Because I couldn't get anybody to cover the bar. Never worked in a bar.
Oh, yeah, because we had me standing on that side. I'm pretty sure Alan slept on his own on that side.
Yeah.
Don't know if we put Simon there. And then Yogi came. Yogi was in.
Yeah. Josh.
Yeah, he was in the shit ass tent that
fell over.
I don't know what happened, but anyway, he ended up sleeping on the floor. That I don't think we played too late actually. It was getting dark, and just no one had flashlights. It was supposed to be a night game, and no one had flashlights, and it was just turned into a piss up. It was awesome.
One of the first night games I played was SWAT Woodland. It was the first Woodland night game. And I should probably get Elliot here to tell his story as well. If he comes back later for another episode, we'll rehash this. But yeah, so basically there's two sections to the night game. One was defend the embassy, and there were about 15 of us against everybody else on site. And it were all CBNPC. There were me, Plumber, Scott, Elliot, me, Plumber, Scott. Now I think that were all CBNPC that were there. And then there were a few others knocking about, like regular players. We had to defend the embassy building. Nobody at all had a torch. We brought a 1,000,000 candle power torch. And we were in this embassy building, which basically looks like a wooden church.
Yeah.
And Elliot had the 1,000,000 pound power torch. We were just like keeping away from Elliot, and he just kind of put it out the window. And then we'd see like one person.
Everyone fall over.
Everybody in our like group would just light this one guy up. Everybody else would just light Elliot up. And then he dropped to the floor, turned the torch, and was like, oh, amazing. But there's so many people complain like, in the real army, they don't use torches. Like
They use drones and
night vision.
javelins.
And first of all, this is airsoft. Yeah. Second of all, you're attacking a building. Like, Kolditz and all that sort of shit, like German prisoner camps and that. They're fucking massive towers with spotlights.
Yeah.
You're going to tell me if somebody's attacking them, they're not going to turn spotlight and go, there's that dickhead over there shooting.
Just shoot him.
Yeah. And in all video games, they're the first things you shoot out.
Oh my god, I know. Yeah.
That was hilarious. But the best bit, I was in the MP7 with the suppressor on. Scott still had his M14 EBR, which were noisy as fuck. Plumber had his saw, and Elliot had his M4 SPR.
Yeah.
Both noisy as fuck. Both like. So they were down one end, having a fight, and me and Scott decided we were gonna crawl up like the main path, proper like leopard crawling up here, right? And I would stop every like 30 minutes or something because we'd see something. It would pitch black, and then I'd go like, they wouldn't hear it. Somebody get hit and they'd go back off to their camp, and then we'd carry on crawling. It took us literally an hour to get up something that takes you 10 minutes to walk up. Just crawling. We get right onto the outskirts of the village, and we can see the objective in plain sight. We're gonna go capture this objective. Just like plinking a few people with this MP7. Then all of a sudden we hear this, and it doesn't like, we're laying on the floor like, there's rounds coming over us. Plumber and Scott, Plumber and Elliot nearly walk over. It's like, oh, that's like fucking bellings. Just up here. They just raped everybody in there. And we're like, well, fair enough, we got the objective, but we were like gonna get in there and take the objective and like Metal Gear Solid it back out or some shit.
Oh, I see.
And they just came in playing Call of Duty.
Yeah, see,
Ridiculous.
Elliot, Plumber style shooter.
I think that comes from like, I'd spent 2 years at that point just with my APS2 crawling about,
You know what?
hiding in streams and stuff.
Yeah. Probably the difference between the last time I went to SWAT and this time I went to SWAT, about 1,500 BBs. Because I used to go through high caps like no one's business.
Yeah.
And like now, because I love using pistols, but I'm, just actually taking time to aim instead of just going. Yeah. I'll actually just do like, 2 or 3 shots, like da-da-da. But yeah, God, it just makes such a difference, doesn't it? Actually taking your time and actually killing people. And
Mid caps.
the last game that we went to, the last game at SWAT, it wasn't my favourite. I don't know, it's just my favourite everyday airsofting, just because I could count all my kills. Because I was going slow. I wasn't going slowly, but I was taking my time on my shots.
Being more collected with your thoughts.
Yeah. Just putting, selective rounds down rather than just, covering.
Spamming everything to prove.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been going for it.
See how long we've been going for? It's alright.
Not a lot of time, No, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I'm good. That's got me.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to what they've got to offer with Spectra. I've no idea. I don't know.
Why you don't know
All
what
I
it
know,
is?
all I know is the name, and the notes were saying it's going to be good.
Well, of course, not to say anything. Please go on.
No, but every site is.
No, yeah. There's not been a site where I've been disappointed. So,
I mean, I think Area 51 was the weakest,
yeah,
but I still had an amazing time there.
no,
Brilliant.
yeah.
Actually, so
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where that came from, but
I think Site and Camp out of all the SWAT sites was my favourite.
Item was phenomenal.
That hospital building, officers' mess, CQB block, all of it. It was just.
If there's ever a reason to wear full protection and a helmet,
That's the site that made me wear a helmet.
Yeah.
Talking about this before, and I
made us old, man.
basically ran into a room. First game of the day, I decided I'm just going to run in, get shot, get myself warmed up. So I ran in, tried taking somebody out, like 8 guys lit me up. As I was coming out, this guy called Doug, probably getting me back for the time I dislocated his knee, just leant round the corner, like firing, like pre-firing. So first of all, the muzzle of his gun hit me in the forehead, and that was immediately followed by like, whack, 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 whack. Oh, fuck! It was just like hit me like here and just blood coming down my forehead. I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna go to the safe zone for a minute. I feel like I'm gonna throw up.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was straight away after that. I'm getting held at tomorrow.
Yeah, same with me. Hospital building. I was coming in, and literally as I was coming in, someone just led around the corner and went whack right in the middle of my forehead. It's blood. And it's one of them pains where you're just like,
Yeah.
everyone's running over and saying, "Oh, you all right? You all right?" You just like,
Nope.
I just need you to have it to do something. Yeah, it's works pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just remember then, like, Jimmy D. So one of the when you're attacking the hospital compound, you can attack it from like the back end, and there's this like tennis court sort of thing. I don't think it was a tennis court, I don't know what the hell it was. But basically, they were saying that the chain link fences you can't fire through either way, so it's like a safe area. So we were all in there stacked up on this like chain link fucking fence doorway. They were up on this like loading dock thing, and they could blatantly see us. They could tell everything we were going to do.
See it.
So we had to run across open ground about 30 meters into this cover behind this brick wall. Standing makes a first. We couldn't even lean around to give cover fire. We're like that janky. Standing runs straight across, gets in, like slides and gets into cover. Switches to his like weed cannon and starts firing around the corner. And then Jimmy D's like, right, I'm going. He's like, whoa, getting ready. And then he sets off running. There's like a lip at the edge of the fucking, just at the edge of the gate. He just runs, hits this lip and just goes straight down on his face. And we all just run over and just drag him back in. We're shooting him. Standing, standing man. Immediately he's like, on his back, rolling about. He's getting shot at, but he's in tears. Sirens. Tears, laughing. Jimmy D's like, his knees fat. And he's like, oh my God. Then I like realise he's alive. I burst into tears laughing. Standing's laughing. Everybody's like, oh, you're mate, it's injured. I'm like, it's fucking funny though. Can you laugh at me? Beautiful moment. This thing is it's light that you can't miss it.
But
And he obviously did.
same with SWAT though. When you go through the meat flaps,
Oh God, yeah.
there must be.
Do it.
It's
about an inch
It's
thick
not
and
even worse tripping up, but absolutely every time I go through there, I just always
Basically, there must have been a hole in the floor at some point, and he just screwed this like square bit of wood over it, and it's about an inch thick. This is like plastic flaps, kind of like what you'd expect in like a freezer or something.
Yeah, meat flaps.
Yeah, meat flaps. Wrong kind of meat flaps. Yeah. So, meat flaps, not beef flips.
Yeah.
So, that's a t-shirt, I don't know. So you go running through, and every single time, this tiny little bit of wood that must be about this big, it's like a foot square, isn't it? Just right in your face.
On my ass every time I go through there.
God,
And it's pitch black on that side as well, so the last thing you want to do is be on your ass, because you're gonna get lit up. And yeah.
you do it every time, even
Every
if
time. Yeah, even if you don't slip a ball.
you put your hand up, you keep running, you're like, whoa, then
Just full of BBs as well.
that people are following right behind you. You just got to get out of their way, haven't you? And you still get lit up. But I like the last time I was there with the grenade. So I'm going to make a video about this song. So, Shorty had his DMR. He were about 30 meters back, firing at the meat flaps.
30.
So, we're about 30 meters. Probably about 20.
He had his barrel through there at one
No,
point.
well, at that one point, yeah. But is a rebel.
Minimum distance.
So, no, he was, at this point, he was at the other side of like the wide room, behind some cover, firing in.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, Magaz, use my grenade. So I got everybody together. I'm like, right, on 3, I'm going to run in and throw this grenade. Basically, I'm going to run in and get killed because I'm just running through and throwing it straight at the floor at this guy's feet that I could see. And then it was like, right, yeah. So I run in, whack and throw it basically just at this guy's feet, and it kills him. I get killed basically by my own grenade and by 18 people. Everybody runs in, we take like 3 people out. So I get the grenade back, flick to the next one because it's running tremors with a 3-shot base. And I'm like, right, I'm going to do the same again, but the next guy's a bit further, so I'm going to have to throw it a bit further. So Ed's right behind me. There's a couple of guys right behind me. So I go to run through the meat flaps. I go to throw it underarm, but throw it kind of into the meat flap. It goes up the meat flap, comes right down behind me, and lands right behind me, blows me and my entire team up, and then we all just get lit up anyway. Absolutely beautiful moment. And I thought, because at first I didn't know what had gone on, because I thought I'd just fucking thrown it and it had gone way miles out. Shit, sorry guys, that went well for you. They're like, I'm like, what? It's just gone behind me. It went until I like looked at it and then replayed what had gone on. I'm like, oh, what an idiot. Can't believe I did that.
Phenomenal.
Beautiful.
Phenomenal. Yeah. Speaking of, we got time for one more, haven't we?
Yeah.
What's your favourite ever kill?
My favourite ever kill.
Favoritist ever.
Favouriteest, most specialist. I think I know what yours is.
Yeah. Definitely.
Oh, God. Shit, there's been loads.
Well, do mine then.
Go on then, you do yours.
You always think. It was, again, last game at SWAT. Probably the most kills I've ever had.
In one go.
Got in one go as well, definitely. There was, God, what's is it the High Street? No, the indoor one, parallel to the High Street.
Basically, the indoor equivalent of the high street. I don't think it ever had a name, just that long corridor.
A long corridor. The stairwell in the middle, where there was a lot of people hiding under the stairs and kept shooting us. But after got rid of them, got up the top of the stairs. There's a doorway with Perspex windowing. Me on one side, guy on the other side. Guy on the other side thinks he's being cool, tapping his impact on the window, just like tap, tap, tap.
I fucking laugh, it just went off tapping further.
That would have been hilarious. So, we're even thinking about it. CBMTC rubber cock, arm around the door, smacks him in his face. Dill kills him. He drops his grenade, and then literally there must have been 8 people on that side, including him. 8 people on that side of the door, all dead because he's dropped his grenade. Favorite ever kill, because obviously humiliations followed up by
8 double
kills.
humiliation, yeah.
By team kills, yeah. That got to be my favorite ever. And there was a guy with a GoPro on his head, and I just hope
Somewhere.
he's got it somewhere.
Yeah.
I'd love that.
Everybody needs to get GoPro.
Yeah. I will get one eventually. I need to get a Rhino mount for my helmet.
Get Brain Exploders mount. I'll send you a
Very
link.
exploded. Yeah, that's like Rhino.
Well, it's the same thing as a Rhino, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I haven't really thought of my favourite one, but one that really sort of stands out.
Yeah.
Elite Fire Zone. Me, Plummer, and Scott on Hamburger Hill. I had my APS2. Scott had his G3, and I'm guessing Plummer probably had an MP5 or something.
Something like that. Yeah.
The Invisible Man.
Oh my god, that song was it?
I don't think it was.
It's what he had there. It's what
Can't remember.
I'm sure it was called.
It's one lad who always used to wear I think he wore an SAS style beret as well.
Oh, yeah. It's what. We'll call him Mr. X.
So we'll just censor that. So Mr. X. Oh my god. We did a test sort of version of this podcast earlier, and I kept saying somebody's name, even though we'd agreed not to use his name. So Mr. X. What was you wanting to call Mr. X? He's the Invisible Man.
Yeah.
Right. So the Invisible Man. He was basically Hamburger Hill is just this little.
Explain the Invisible Man first.
The Invisible Man is basically somebody who you're pretty sure you're shooting him because you can see the rounds bouncing off his face here, and here. But still like, you not shot me, and then he fires back.
Yeah, but to the point where absolutely everyone had come back with the same story. It's like, we're shooting this guy, and later BBs were bouncing off his face and didn't take his hits. So I think that's where the Invisible Man came from, because everyone had come together and gone, it was this guy.
Yeah. So
anyway, sorry, Karen.
Me, Plummer, and Scott were on top of Hamburger Hill, just behind this sandbag bunker. Sandberg. We'll be having some sandburgers. And then Invisible Man is about 50, 60 meters from Hamburger Hill to the top of the plateau.
Here.
And then he was on top of the plateau. It's basically Hamburger Hill gets into a valley, and there's like a little stream and a bridge, and then you go up this hill onto the plateau. So he was up there, just stood in the open, not even behind any cover, just blatantly out in the open. Finally, does these shots were like dropping in the middle of the fucking thing. Yeah, I don't know what we were using, but crap. So Scott's got his G3 with his scope, and he's like, nah. I'm watching through my APS2, seeing all these rounds just bounce off this guy, and he just carries on firing at us. I'm like, yeah, they're definitely hitting him, man. You lit him up. So then Plumber's like, what a knobhead. So Plumber lights him up. All the rounds you can see him just bouncing off. And I'm like, yeah, they're definitely just bouncing off. He's definitely not taking his hits. So Scott was right, both of us at once. So they both went, bah! Good 10-second hauls of BBs just on automatic. And he was just like, I'm dodging. But you could see him just coming off in the
face of his face.
And I'm like watching through the scope, and you could see him flinch every now and then, just like hit his neck or whatever. And then Scott and Plummer just both stopped and looked at me, and I'm like, all right. So I've got my APS2, said to myself, and wait till he stops moving, squeeze the trigger and send one round down range. It comes in, and you're like, what? right in his Adam's apple. He's like, you can hear him through. He's like, and he grabbed his throat. And he's like, everybody later on like, who the fuck got Invisible Man to take his hits? Oh my god! And I'm like, not me. Well, the APS2 here.
Beautiful. Phenomenal.
Yeah. So I reckon that's like a half hour again, isn't it? So
Probably half an hour, if not longer.
yeah, a little half hour.
It's fine.
So I reckon that's probably we should cut this one there.
Yeah.
And we'll come back hopefully with somebody else, some more. So if you're watching this and you've got some questions you want us to answer, just leave them down below and we'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
We can answer questions and we'll probably give you some terrible advice.
Yeah, definitely don't listen to us.
Yeah, maybe not.
But do, and enjoy yourself.
Yeah. Anyway, this has been Balls Deep, CBMPC podcast. I'm Magaz.
I'm Des.
And remember, kids, the air may be soft, but our balls are hard.
Solid.
Sweet.
Hey guys, it's Magaz here, and welcome back to another episode of The Air May Be Soft, the solo podcast from CBMPC TV, just to fill the gaps in between the Balls Deep podcast. So today, I'm thinking, well, I have just been looking at some Airsoft footage, and I was thinking about how it has evolved since I started creating content around 2007 to where we are now in 2016. So traditionally, back in 2007, YouTube was still in its infancy, only being like a year old at most, and a lot of the airsoft footage that you saw on YouTube at the time was either filmed with like a mini DV camera and a third person perspective. One of the pioneers of this kind of airsoft content was, of course, Scout the Doggy. Now, he is one of the old school YouTube airsoft content creators, and he's still going to this day. His videos were all third person perspective, showing a kind of story, like a narrative built from what I assume was 2 or 3 different games over the day. Now this was absolutely incredible at the time because he was shooting in really high quality, like obviously not like HD, but still really great quality at the time, and he was telling a narrative which not a lot of other airsoft YouTubers were doing right then. Which is obviously why that his footage and his content exploded, and he became probably the UK's biggest airsoft YouTuber, definitely Scotland's biggest airsoft YouTuber. I'd argue that nowadays probably Matt the Musketeer is Britain, or England at least, biggest airsoft YouTuber. I even had a go at this kind of content myself back in the early days, and so did my teammate Elliot. We both had mini DV cameras. Elliot's had the advantage because he could plug his directly into his computer and just drag the files over because it was digital. I was still shooting to mini DV tape, so I had to capture all my footage from the camera using Firewire. So the quality of that wasn't the best at all. All of my content back then was captured from the camera to the computer in 640 by 480, which obviously in today's standards is very low quality. The other real significant downside to this technique that I was using is the storage space I had on my computer at the time was not enough to hold more than, say, 1 or 2 gameplay worth of footage. So I had to basically get the footage onto the computer, edit it, and then just sack it off. Either burn it to DVDs or CDs if I had, or an external hard drive, which I still have a very limited amount of the uncut footage that I found burnt to DVD. But other than that, most of it, I just ended up editing the video and then having to sadly delete the original footage. Which even just that, by today's standards, sounds fucking crazy. I've still got footage going back from around 2007 shot on the Arcos 504 and then moving on to the mini DVR 720 and then the Contours and then the GoPros. Literally terabytes of footage just backed up. And I find it kind of painful when I look back and think there were so many games that I attended and took out my mini DV camera and made videos, but now I don't have the footage. Like the one that was fantastic is the time where the armed police showed up at the site, and I was in the armed response vehicle with them, guiding them to the front of the site with the camera rolling. I'm pretty sure I don't have any of this footage anymore. I made an edit of it, which I didn't include a lot of this footage in because they asked me not to at the time, but I could still have had this footage and made a better edit that I'm sure now further down the line I could have edited a little better, but obviously I don't, which is really sad. But that's kind of digressing. I mean, the other kind of airsoft content that was big back then is the action camera side of things. But 2006, 2007, action cameras were definitely in their infancy and were nowhere near as fantastic quality or as lightweight or as self-contained as what we have now. So for instance, the first camera that we were capturing airsoft footage on was an Arcos 504 with an external camera. Basically, the Arcos is a media center. It's like a little screen you can put videos, films, and audio tracks and stuff on it and photographs and use it to carry your media about. Obviously, in today's sort of technological society with iPhones and all these iPads and shit like that, this is very redundant. But back then, when this was some cutting edge technology, the camera itself actually clipped on, and it had probably about a 4-foot cable with a remote control on the cable and the microphone in the remote. So basically you'd attach this camera to your helmet or your mask or wherever, run this cable all through your gear, and then have the Arcos somewhere inside your rig, maybe in a pouch on its own or something, and then you'd have this button somewhere that you had to press. It was so awkward because there was no real, hey, we're recording notification, just a little red light that flashed and a little green light that flashed, something like that. So the amount of times where the camera would be rolling, you didn't know, and you're in the safe zone, you'd get into the game, you'd hit what you thought was record, and you'd have actually stopped, missed the whole gameplay, and then just recorded back in the safe zone. You get back to edit and you're like, what a fucking idiot. So the cameras were like absolutely cumbersome, horrendous to use, and just terrible quality. But this was like very early days. We were kind of pioneering gameplay footage. What's really annoying as well is when I look back, and there's a lot of videos on my channel that are unlisted from way back like 2007, 2008, where I was getting 32,000 views on a video, say, just because there was not a lot of people actually capturing this content. So there were more people finding my content and viewing it. Obviously it was horrendous quality, but now where I'm only getting hundreds, maybe thousands of views rather than tens of thousands, it's crazy. And that's because the industry, the YouTube airsoft community is so diluted with everybody having access to action cameras. You can pick up copy GoPros like the SJ Cam for £100. Just throw it on your helmet and run an entire day and just throw something together. It's ridiculous the ease of access people have to this equipment nowadays. But obviously back then, all this amazing camera setups that people run these days and the quality and the consistency of the content was just a pipe dream. So like moving on from the old technology, back then you didn't really get anything other than either a camera on somebody's helmet or a camera on somebody's weapon system. Obviously these are two different ways of capturing footage, and we've had a lot of discussions about this in the past where I can't stand gameplay videos where it's just a camera on the gun and they don't have any other perspective. It looks terrible because most of the footage is just a floor. You can't really build a narrative from it because you can't really assess what the player's doing. Like if you get the camera on the helmet, you get the player's perspective. There isn't all this footage at the floor. Like the weapon mounted cameras have the benefit of being able to really easily track the rounds being fired. But the second you're off target and you're not firing, that weapon system is pointed at the ground and all you're seeing is the player's feet and maybe a bit of action, a bit of running about. And then when it fires, you get the horrendous, horrible, like, because the noise and the vibration transfers through to the camera and the camera's mic picks that up and it sounds horrible. But on the head, you can use all the other footage. It doesn't have to just be the firing the gun footage. You can move around and show a little bit of a narrative, like communicating with other players and building like a tense atmosphere up before a firefight that you can't really achieve just with the single camera mounted on your weapon system. But back then, these three options that we've covered, either the third person, the first person on the helmet, or the weapon camera, were pretty much the only videos that we were seeing. Nobody was experimenting with more than one camera, mainly because of the cost and impracticality of the cameras. So it was a long while before I heard anyone ever talk about using more than one camera. The first person actually that I heard talk about it was a teammate, Alan. And this was because back then I was using a mini HD 720. It's a really crap name for the camera because basically it's just a mini DVR. It's similar in respects to the Arcos, where it's a media center with an external camera plugged into a wire, but it was recording in 720p, so it was our first kind of HD camera, but it wasn't that great. I mean, it needed an IR filter on the lens because it was basically just a terrible piece of kit, but it was our first sort of HD, in like inverted commas, gameplay footage. But as soon as Alan bought a Contour, it was game over for the fucking HD 720. That thing blew everything out of the water. But he had it on his helmet originally, and then he wasn't quite happy with it, so he bought a mount for his weapon, and then he mounted the camera straight to his 20mm rails, and was basically just creating gameplay footage like that. And that brought up a huge discussion between us, where I was saying it's basically what I've said here. You can't create a narrative in the gameplay video just using a camera on your weapon system. And then he brought up the idea of having a contour mounted to your helmet and then one mounted to your gun, so you could switch between them for the actual, because we looked at his footage and seeing the rounds go down range from the contour on his gun was fantastic, but it's just the rest of the footage with the floor that was crap. So we were talking about editing two perspectives together. We never really got it off the ground because back then a contour was so goddamn expensive and we just didn't want to put the money into it. In hindsight, thinking about it now, the second he said that, I should have gone out and bought two contours. I mean, there was a point where I was debating it and I could afford it, and I bought my first contour, which was only $720, second hand for like 80 quid, and I should have bought another one and just done this, because I could have grown my channel exponentially doing this, but I just didn't. But you know what they say, hindsight is 20/20, right? So moving on, like, this kind of thing started to slowly become the norm, where people were using two cameras, one on the head and one on the weapon, and we started moving that way eventually as well. Like, I bought another contour, Simon got a contour, Alan's got other cameras. We all started buying more and more cameras, and then this eventually evolved into what seems to be the bog standard of the 2016 YouTube generation, which is the 3-camera setup. And these cameras add to the two mentioned earlier with what a lot of people call a selfie camera. So basically you've got your helmet mounted camera, your weapon mounted camera, and then another weapon mounted camera that's facing the player. A lot of people don't understand the idea behind this. They just think, why every now and then are you cutting to the player's face? But there's a lot of good reasons to use a selfie camera. Now, the way I explain it is, say I'm using all 3 cameras. Like, traditionally when I'm doing this setup, I have a GoPro Hero 4 Silver on my helmet in a Brain Exploder mount. Now, this is my main camera. It's my first person perspective camera, and this is the camera that most of the video is seen from. Then I have 2 contours mounted onto my weapon system. The 1080 one, which is facing forwards so I can track my shots. I used a higher definition one for this, so I can crop in slightly if I need to essentially zoom into the shot. Then facing me, I have the Contour V holder, which is a 720p one. It doesn't actually have to be as excellent quality because generally it's only on me for 2 or 3 seconds and I'm cutting back to something else. So what I do is, I mean, obviously in other times if I'm doing sniper gameplay footage, I'll ditch the forward-facing contour and use the ATN Shot Track, which is a 5x optical zoom action camera that mounts straight to a Picatinny rail. I mean, there's videos about this on my channel, so you can check that out if you want. And I think in future I am going to do a video fully explaining my 3-camera setup, but for now, I guess this podcast will briefly explain that. But the reason I use the selfie camera is for editing. If we just jump back to like my original old school gameplay footage, or even some of the gameplay footage I've been releasing recently, for instance at the Labyrinth in Bury, because it's so dark, the selfie camera just shows nothing, so it's kind of pointless. But basically, you'll get a clip where I'll do a run and I'll fire on an enemy, get a kill, fire on another enemy, get a kill. Then I'll either be waiting for something to happen or I'll get killed. And then it jump cuts. It's like a hard cut straight to another scene where something else is starting. Now, this can be pretty jarring if it's basically like I've just been sat there for a minute and I'm waiting for somebody to come in the room and I jump, say, a minute or 2 minutes. It looks strange where you can see this just, and then another situation's happening. If you've got a selfie camera facing you, you can gauge where, say I've run into a room or I've attacked, say there's an outpost in the middle of an area that both teams in this particular game are battling for possession of. Say I run up and I manage to eliminate all the guys in this bunker and take possession of it. Now, it could be 7 to 10 minutes or something, say, before the enemy team get back to their respawn and push forwards enough to be able to attack my new position. With a single camera setup, I would run up, attack the enemy and eliminate them. Then there'd be a little bit of footage of me getting in and digging into position, maybe talking to a couple of teammates who are in there with me. Then we can either wait the 7 or so minutes it's going to take for the enemy team to return, or we can jump cut. So this harsh cut from where I am now to the future where the enemy are attacking, and it just looks a bit janky. It kind of ruins the flow of the video, which is a shame. So with the selfie camera, as I've gotten into the bit of cover, I'll switch to the selfie camera for 10 seconds, say, of me getting in, going, right guys, we need to hunker down here and hold this bunker. Then I will switch back to the camera on my helmet. So now it's gone from weapon facing me camera to me facing the enemy camera. To the viewer, it looks like only 30 seconds have passed. But in reality, I've used the switch to the second camera to cut out, say, 7 minutes of just sat there in a foxhole waiting for some shit to happen. So that is just scrapped and deleted, and it cuts straight from me getting in there, getting my guys to move up, going, right guys, let's hold this position, to, oh shit, the enemy are coming back and attacking again. So the action isn't broke up by a jarring cut, and it seamlessly flows into the next scene and makes for a video that is nicer to watch. It's kind of like cinema. I mean, you don't just jump, well, you can jump cut. There are certain situations where jump cuts can work really well, but it's generally nicer for the viewer if you've got this seamless flow straight into the next scene. And again, this is where having a quote-unquote scope camera can come into play as well. So basically what I'd do in that scene is let's take the same example, the same situation as an example. I've spotted the enemy in the objective and I'm moving up on them. So this will be a combination of first and third person. So my camera on my helmet and the selfie camera, so I can cut out some crap of me crawling through the undergrowth or moving up or whatever. Then when I get into position, I'd take aim and you go to the scope camera, the weapon camera that's pointing forwards to track the BBs, and then I'd fire, you'd see the hits, and then maybe switch back to the selfie camera or the first person camera as I move up again into another position, and then as I'm engaging another target, would switch immediately back to the weapons perspective. So you can see the rounds hitting, and then obviously we get into the foxhole like we said and switch to the selfie camera. We can see our guys moving up and taking a position, and then we'd switch back to the first person perspective. Maybe 20 seconds would pass, then the enemies would attack. It's just like basic filmmaking. You're taking a multi-camera setup and creating a narrative from it. And that is where Airsoft content is really changing from where it was like 2007, where it was just a single camera and you weren't really getting a narrative. But now, a lot of the better videos that I see, especially if you take the Hidden Hedgehog, for example. I know he's a paintballer, but it's the same principle. He goes even further and has basically his setup is the same 3-camera setup that I've just been discussing, but he also goes into the extreme third person camera where after basically he's telling a story. Say his story is he's the team sniper. He has to move into a building and engage another sniper. But unbeknownst to him, that sniper has also moved into his building. So what he'll do is he will actually go out, play the game, and record the whole situation. And then in post-production, he will be editing. And after the game has happened, before post-production, we'll actually go back out, wearing the same gear that he's wearing, with the same weapon system, with a cameraman, and he will work out what's gone on in the storyline, like where he heard a noise, or where something happened, or where the other sniper got a bead on him, and he will film from that perspective, so we can drop these shots in afterwards for a fourth perspective. So basically, say the outline that I just laid out then. He's moving towards his building, so his team are putting some fire down to allow him to move. So he'll be moving, and we're going to be looking at like first person perspective, maybe selfie cam perspective, and then he'll get into the building. As he's entering the building, we'll switch to this fourth perspective, which is another cameraman recording him after the fight, moving into this building. And he uses this with tense music to build a story and an atmosphere in the video that is unparalleled in other gameplay videos. And of course, while he's switching from these 4 different camera perspectives, from moving into the building, selfie camera, third person camera, and then he finally spots the enemy, switches to the scope camera, and you get the payoff shot where the round hits the other guy in the face, and then he'll switch back to the extreme third person camera where he's bugging out of the position, say. All the time, he's narrating over it and saying what is happening and explaining the story like it's a diary, and it's fantastic. And that really goes to show how much YouTube, airsoft and paintball content has evolved over 10 years. I think it's fantastic that the inexpensive technology and the quality of the technology means that people can create these incredible narratives. So basically, to keep ahead of the game now, like going back to where I was talking earlier, where I was saying hindsight is 2020, where I should have bought 2 cameras and actually done the 2-camera perspective situation. Looking at it now, the Hidden Hedgehog he's kind of pioneered this new way of storytelling with airsoft gameplay, which I think is a route that I want to take. So I think now I should actually think about this in depth and actually get a cameraman to follow me around on some games. As where the hidden hedgehog, he has the cameraman come back into the area after the fact and create this content that he can drop in, these pickup shots. But I think it'd be great to have somebody operating a camera in the situation so it's all genuine and real. So the fourth perspective is somebody following you around with a DSLR, creating this amazing external content. And I think over the next few months, I'm going to experiment with this and convince one of my other teammates to actually record me. Or I could do it the other way and kit one of my teammates up with all my camera gear and actually follow them with one of my DSLRs. Because I think this is the way that Airsoft gameplay content is going to evolve over the next year or so, where we're going to see more people using this narrative way of creating content. And I think I'd like to be on the cutting edge of this as it is evolving. And I'm really super excited to see how the future of Airsoft YouTube content is going to evolve with drones and like there's 360 cameras. I've seen a few people playing with a 360 camera on them. That's fantastic because it gives the viewer the option to look around and see a greater perspective of the gameplay. Imagine having a 360 camera on your head and on your weapon system, so you can go from... Imagine the 360 scope cam situation where you can watch where the rounds are firing, but you can also pan back around to look at the player's face. Obviously, they look pretty daft with this big 360 camera on his head as well, but it's really exciting where content is going in the future. I can't wait to see what the next 4 or 5 years bring. And I love the idea of... I know Novrich has experimented with this a little bit recently, using a drone. The drone shots are fantastic, so you'll go from the standard 3-camera setup, and this is kind of like what the Hidden Hedgehog does, where he has the external camera following him about filming, where you've got a drone above you, so you can get this kind of battlefield perspective. So not like the game Battlefield, but obviously people are going to draw some kind of comparisons, but you've got an overall view of the actual game area, and maybe from the drone's perspective, you can see this situation unfold where you can see the player, like we can see the player we're invested in because we are recording from his perspective, but you can see the objective he's approaching and the enemy players that this player is going to engage in a minute or get absolutely shreked by. That is fantastic. Obviously, drones in the airsoft field have pros and cons. They can be shot down, and then there's the danger of it crashing. But I don't know, there's a lot of things to be discussed about that, and I think that's a conversation for another time. There we go. Episode 2 is done. Thanks for listening. If you've enjoyed this, wherever you're listening to this, whether it's on podcast, Spotify, your mum's fucking fridge, or YouTube, rate and review that shit. Leave some comments down below if you're watching this on YouTube and hit the thumbs up button. Share it with your friends, share it with your nan who's living in that fucking really horrible old folks prison across the street, and fucking give her something to think about, over the weekend. A little bit of happiness in her life. Spread the love. If you want to support the podcast and the channel monetarily, you can head over to patreon.com/cbnpc. You can become a Roy and help us grow this channel, help us grow the podcast. You guys will get releases of Season 2 earlier. As soon as they are edited and uploaded, I'm going to put them straight onto the Patreon, so you'll get them a lot sooner. And there's other videos and other scripts and all sorts of bullshit that goes up there as well. Thanks for listening. I'll see you guys in the next episode.